Yep.
So you've got three locking points on that holds this deck on, which is your top link, and then either of your bottom arms. So to take on and off, the easiest thing to do first, take this one, slide that one out of there. I always put these back in, and then you don't lose them. Onto the tractor, you've got a little hooks there that hooks up out of the way. On these, split pin there, and you've got two collars either side of your latching point. They sit like that, so don't lose those, because they need to sit in there, and then it holds that. And when you put them back in, make sure they're actually sunken into the gap. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Got you.
And then they can't, you know, there is another option here. What you don't want is someone to go like that. That comes out of there, and then you've got that.
Yeah.
So if you, yeah, so you want them right up against the closest spacer like that. And he goes, and then that can't do that. Because if you're up and down in that all the time, you'll wear and bend these pins.
Yeah.
When you come to take the PTO off, take the safety chain off of there, up through, and then you've got a collar which you pull back, and you slide the whole PTO off. And there's so basically that collar there holds these 3 ball bearings in. Once you go like that, they become loose, and that's when then you can go back onto the PTO, get them lined up. It'd be easier. You slide it like that. If you get your hands up underneath there, pull that collar back, slide him on. He says sometimes they can be a bit stiff. And you'll hear that click. So that's the ball bearings going into the lug on the PTO of the tractor. Once that click, you can't go anywhere. And then you put your safety chain back on, and then that stops anything from spinning on there. If you do take him off and pull forward, you might find it easier to put the PTO on first. Because that goes out quite a long way, so you can reverse back, so these little things are about here, and then you can put the PTO in. You've got a bit more room. You're not up against this, and then reverse back again, because that'll compress further, to put your 3-point linkage in. All right.
Got you.
If you alter these are side to side motion. So when he's up in the air, and you're spinning round like to make another turn, these hold the deck straight, rigid. Yes. You don't want him flopping like that. So every now and then, just make sure these are tight. There's no side to side movement, because sometimes they can get a bit loose, or they're slightly undue. You've got that lock nut there to lock them up with, and just make sure he's sturdy. But I mean, you're probably not going to be taking this thing off that much, are you?
No. Well, occasionally, I think.
Yeah.
Not very often.
No. I wouldn't have thought, unless you go for the spiker, you're probably never going to alter those. So once they're set like they are now, well, just check them every now and then, really. And I think for the deck, that's about it.
Need to reconnect.
Oh yeah. So they're back down off of there. Always have them in float, which is the rubber gear which you've got. Because then when you go in the long cutting, you've got movement for the deck to go like that. If you have him in the lock one, you won't have that. And then if you do hit a hump, you just stove in the front and make it flat. You have got a little PTO, yeah, that's a little PTO store. To be fair, it's more of a transport. So So that swings, if you can get them off. Probably have to undo that bolt.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Then
See-
it comes underneath.
It comes underneath there, and then you can hold that then off of the ground when you've got this off.
Yeah.
But
So it's a bit like the one on the tractor for the.
yeah, it just holds it. You'd have to take that off of there,
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
but not many people use them, to be honest, because they tend to